itself is waiting, and I'm talking for consciousness, because consciousness is waiting for certain speed of vibration in a percentage in order to do a specific shift. So everybody in consciousness, every particle, every single person is a particle within consciousness itself, has its own reality. And that particle itself has this very specific foundation of a vibration to fill in the frequency that the reality is running in, and is literally existing for its own purpose for the collective. So understand that it's meant to be for certain things to happen, even if it looks individually or whatever is happening horrific. But we are here to learn, and consciousness is self-learning. Remember, consciousness is you, and you are consciousness in the collective. Alchemists can lower the vibration or raise the vibration, whatever that is. But when it becomes off balance, and it's time for consciousness to raise the vibration to the next level, and that particular consciousness is stopping that natural order of process, consciousness will do everything possible to stop it. But in the meantime, when this is happening, every single one of us as an individual, because you're fractal expression in consciousness itself, from consciousness itself, and you're in consciousness realities all the time, you have the free will. This is where the free will is coming, to choose what to do in your particular reality. So if you're choosing, even if it's your free will, to be against the natural order of consciousness, consciousness eventually is going to override it. So basically, if you, for example, had a reality that you end up hurting somebody so bad, or the next lifetime somebody ends up hurting you really, really bad at that time, and you suffer and your whole family suffer, those two realities, when you go to the next level of evolution, and when you're self-aware completely from your higher self, those two realities bring together, and you at the same time experience the emotion of the one that you end up hurting, and the emotion of the person that end up hurting you. Everything at once. So why? Because you're the reflection, and they're the reflection of you, and vice versa. There's one particle that fractally splits in all this reality. Every time, for example, this is you, and every time you flicker in vibration and you create another fractal reality, which is another version, you're sending your consciousness through vibration into this version. You're reprinting everybody in it with you, whoever you were, communicating and stuff like this. But remember, this reality is a different reality of you, and this is completely different new reality of you. But in consciousness, all that you can experience in the same time, it collects as one unit. So you have multiple layers of realities, because each reality is going to be frequency of itself, and you measure it. And that is going to be like a one particle and one particle, but in that particle could be literally the entire movie time, the entire lifetime of you being as George, for example. And all that sequence has a layers of sequences of all the emotions and all the realities, everything that you have done, and it's going to be like a single sound. But when you zoom in into that sound vibration, which has a frequency and can be completely measured, you're going to discover that the subtonalities, that the quantum field of them. In this reality, everything that you end up experiencing in lifetime, it's going to be by your free choice every moment and every moment and every moment. And that's going to fluctuate and collapse and collapse. And when it combines everything from this collapse, the entire lifetime of George, for example, from birth to death, for example, will have specific resonance that is going to be required and calculated, which is imprinted in consciousness itself. It's its own pulsation. That person, George, has its own pulsation. And we know who George is in this reality. But remember, this lifetime can become thousands of different lifetimes. And between the thousands of different lifetimes, again, you collect everything. And again, that brings into that one pulsation. And now, based on the fluctuation, can go to negative or to go to positive as a soul. That soul is much more conscious, much more aware, much more stuff, because through the experiences of these lifetimes, end up really collecting and completing through all the struggling and learning experience and everything into a positive vibrational pulsation, which is a high resonance in the time-space reality. Remember, different timelines. So that particular individual as George end up raising his consciousness through all the challenges to move to a higher dimensional expression in pulsation. And that is reprinted in God consciousness, and is so specific, so precise, that God can, in a quantum second, whatever you call it, can recognize immediately George, no matter where George is into the longitude, altitude of the reality. It doesn't matter where it is. And remember, this is just two-dimensional. If we make it like a sphere, three-dimensional, that is multi-layers, reality within the reality. So imagine how powerful consciousness is.